So I've had this Oura Ring Gen 3 for just over 3 years now, and Oura has been getting a ton of buzz over their new Oura Ring Gen 4. And in this video, I just wanted to go over 10 things that you should know before you decide to buy or upgrade to this latest generation. First off, the Oura Ring Gen 4 has a slightly new design compared to the Gen 3, where it now has a full titanium redesign, which makes it a tad lighter and slightly thinner. It also now comes in 4 additional sizes for those who have smaller or larger fingers. Plus, the sensors on the interior part of the ring are more recessed, so you no longer have those 3 bumps that were on the original Gen 3. But honestly though, you really can't feel the difference, but apparently they do give it a better sensor reading. Which leads me to the second thing to know about the Oura Ring Gen 4, which is the fact that it now has an upgraded feature called Smart Sensing, which uses an algorithm along with the sensors in the ring to better respond to each user's finger physiology. This is supposed to allow for more accurate and continuous data capture. Now, would I say that I've personally seen a difference between these two generations when it comes to sensors? Honestly, no, but I do trust that this has led to upgrades with this new generation. Now, the one improvement that I have experienced and seen is the battery life. Now, out of all of the fitness trackers that I've tested, and trust me, I've tried a good amount, the Oura Ring Gen 3 has the best battery life out of all of them and probably goes head to head with the Samsung Galaxy Ring. I do want to caveat though, I did recently test and do some light research on the Garmin smartwatches such as the Fenix 8 and the Forerunner 965 and found out that those can range anywhere between 10 to 15 days depending on the mode that you have them in. Definitely something I want to dive into more in the coming months. And I can't mention the battery life without talking about Oura's new charger for the Gen 4, which is a bummer to those who already have the Gen 3 version, as you won't be able to charge the Gen 4 with your older one. I do have mixed feelings about this new design, as I do think the Gen 4 charger has a more premium look and feel to it. However, I also prefer the slightly smaller form factor of the older Gen 3 one. Charging time is about the same as well. Now, the fifth thing to know about the Oura Ring Gen 3 is that it still doesn't have any of those smart features that you would see in other wearables like the Fitbit, Whoop, or Apple Watch, which in my opinion would have been nice to have something as simple as like a slight vibration when it's time to stand up if you've been sitting too long during the day. I also would have even loved the ability to use different finger gestures to operate different functions such as turning off your alarm or taking a picture. I also really wish that Oura implemented the ability to have a GPS tracker that could allow your ring to be located through your phone's Find My app. If you happen to lose your ring, you're basically out of luck because there's no way for you to find it. And look, maybe adding some of those features would require the ring to be a lot bulkier, and this is supposed to be a more minimalist design, but look, Samsung Ring does it, which I am definitely looking forward to sharing a video of my experience with that device soon, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel for when that video drops. Now, the next 2 things to know about the Oura Ring Gen 4 have actually more to do with the app versus the device itself. Oura has given its original mobile app a pretty big facelift recently, and they took an already simplified UI and made it even more digestible. I won't go too in depth, I'll save it for a future video, but basically now Oura gives you all your key health scores at the top of the homepage, so you can get a quick snapshot of all your important metrics for the day. You also now only have 3 main tabs to swap between, with the first being a tab that gives you a brief summary of your current readiness based off of your sleep and previous 24 hours worth of activities. You then have the Vitals tab, which gives you a cleaner overview of your individual metrics that Oura believes is most important to keep an eye out on, including your activity goal, heart rate, and daytime stress. And then the last tab is the My Health tab, which breaks down things like your resilience, your heart health, your sleep health. In my opinion, Oura definitely has one of the best app interfaces in the fitness wearable game right now, and these updates continue to show how they lean more into a simplified approach versus overwhelming you with a ton of numbers and data. They've also added 2 new experimental features in the app that I've been excited to continue testing out because they are powered by AI. This includes their Meals and Oura Advisor. With Meals, you can basically take a photo of what you're eating and it will use AI to analyze your plate and help you understand the optimal meal schedule for you to be the most alert and focused throughout the day. Oura Advisor is basically their version of a health chat GPT and large language model tailored to your personal biometrics data. You can basically ask it any type of questions related to your overall health, and it'll take into account your recorded health data to provide answers and actionable advice to better improve your overall health and wellness. Both of these features are still in beta, but I think it's pretty cool to see how Oura is trying to think beyond just serving up the numbers on a screen, which most fitness trackers do nowadays. Now for number 8, it is a disappointing one. You still have to pay a membership if you want to get access to the more in-depth health and fitness tracking features. As of today, the subscription is either $5.99 a month or $69.99 for the full year, which may not seem as expensive because it's the cost of Starbucks coffee. But look, I think what gets me more is just based off of principle. Even though you get that first month free, the idea that you have to pay a lot of like $350, $400 for the device itself, and then pay more just to get the understanding of your personal health data just doesn't really sit right with me, you know? I do currently pay for it myself because I personally find it useful, but I would have just preferred it just be free in my opinion. Another important thing to realize is that the Oura Ring Gen 4 is still a bit limited in its use cases when it comes to doing various activities. Having something on your finger isn't as comfortable when it comes to activities like swimming or weightlifting. This is where I personally would prefer something that goes around my wrist like the Whoop or the Apple Watch. Now, it's definitely perfect for your everyday regular wear, but for most physical activities where you do a lot of gripping or you need heavily use of your hands, it can be a bit uncomfortable. Now, the final thing to keep in mind before buying the Oura Ring Gen 4 is that if you already have the Oura Ring Gen 3, I would really take some time and consider whether or not you should upgrade. Even though the upgraded sensors are nice, I don't know if it's worth spending the extra $400 just to get the current refinements, especially due to the fact that it's not like you can just trade in your old Oura Ring for a new one like an iPhone. And if you don't have either and you want to save some money, I'm pretty sure at the time of this video, many retailers are still selling the Gen 3 at a lower price until they run out of stock. So if you could find one, I think it's worth checking it out. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Oura Ring Gen 4 is very impressive, and if you're in the market for one and you have the money, then just get the latest and greatest. I also just love the direction that Oura is heading in, and I think they have taken the wearable market by storm, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for their products and apps in the future. If you want to see a comparison of the Oura Ring and the Whoop, check this video out right here. If you want to see a more in-depth review video that I made on the Gen 3, click this video right here. As always, stay healthy, be happy, and embrace the hype. Woo!